Hi all my dear students. I welcome you all to Sri Jendra Rank Zone classes. I am your mentor and facilitator Amit Ajmani. In the previous lecture, we have completed up the chapter Fundamental Unit of Life, and I am sure that you all must be aware that in today's video lecture we'll be talking about the various questions that have been already asked from this chapter, or there is a possibility for them to come. And I'm really sure that you all are prepared with all the details and the learning part of the chapter. So directly let us start up with the fundamental unit of life. Now the first question that we'll be discussing about are the true or false questions. And this is we are doing for having confidence in our concepts that we have learned so far. Okay. So let us see out of these statements which of these are true and which of them are false. As always, whenever we are taking up the question answers, I want you people to have your registers and your pens along with you. And while we are discussing the questions, you are going to give the replies side by side. Wherever you are correct, very good in advance from my side. And wherever you are wrong, now there are two possibilities. First possibility is that after my telling the answer, you are able to relate where you were wrong and you are actually able to correct yourself. That is fine, right? By mistake, you have given a wrong answer, but now after understanding the question, understanding the language, understanding the answer, you are able to get it. That is okay. Perfectly fine. But in case you actually encounter any particular question which is new to you or which you find that you need to note down, kindly do it for future reference so that you can relate it from your register in future also. So let us start up. The first statement says that viruses are non-cellular living organisms. How many of you say yes, this statement is true, and how many say false? I'm giving you 1 second to reply. That already has come to your mind. The statement is true that yes, viruses are non-cellular living organisms. Correct? Let us come to the second statement. Amoeba is a multicellular organism. Of course, it is false because amoeba, we know that it is a unicellular organism. Clear? Next statement is plant cells are bounded by a wall composed of cellulose. Yes, this is true because plant cells are bounded by cell wall which is made up of cellulose, and in order to strengthen our basic concepts and learning, let us try to add that this cellulose is a polysaccharide. Fine. Next, cellulose is a protein. No, it is false because it is a polysaccharide. Okay. Next is the statement says that plasma membrane is present in all type of cells, whether it is plant cells or animal cells. Yes, this is true because we know that plasma membrane is present in both plant cell as well as animal cell, right? Out of the three basic structures, one is plasma membrane, and what are the other two? Nucleus and cytoplasm. These are the three things which are called the basic structures of the cell. Clear? Next, blue-green algae have prokaryotic cells. This is a true statement. Blue-green algae, commonly known as cyanobacteria, they have got prokaryotic cells. Next statement says that the oxidation of food in a cell takes place in mitochondria. Yes, this statement is also true because mitochondria contains powerful oxidative enzymes. Mitochondria is rightly called the powerhouse of the cell because the oxidation of food takes place in mitochondria, as a result of which energy is liberated in the form of, in which form is energy liberated? It is liberated in the form of ATPs. adenosine triphosphate. Clear? Let us come to the eighth statement. Cork comes from bark. This is a true statement. Cork comes from the bark of the tree, right? That is the dead cells. Next statement says that cell forming body of amoeba has an ever changing shape. Yes, this statement is also true because amoeba has flexible plasma membrane, which is also known as pseudopodia, and it is ever changing its shape whether for locomotion or for catching its prey to get its food. So it is true that the cell forming the body of amoeba has an ever changing shape. True statement. Let us come to the 10th statement now. Movement of a substance from the area of low concentration to an area of high concentration is called diffusion. False, because it has been written opposite. Diffusion is moving of a substance from the area of high concentration to an area of low concentration. And just in order to confuse us, these two are written opposite, so it is a false statement. Next statement is a dilute solution is called hypertonic solution. Again false, because a dilute solution is hypotonic solution. Whenever a substance, a cell, is kept in a hypotonic solution, that is a dilute solution which causes the cell to swell because of the process of endosmosis taking place. Got it? Next statement. Lysosomes keep the cell clean by digesting foreign materials and worn out cell organelles. Yes, true. Because lysosomes, they contain strong digestive enzymes which digest any foreign material. And to add to our knowledge and preparation, lysosomes are also called scavengers of the cell. They are called the suicidal bags of the cell. They are called the digestive bags of the cell. These all are the synonyms used for or adjectives used for lysosomes. Okay. Next is smooth endoplasmic reticulum detoxifies many poisons and drugs. True. It is true. It is one of the functions of smooth endoplasmic reticulum. And where exactly it detoxifies? Additional, that you are adding for your own revision. This is in liver cells. In liver cells, the SER, that is the smooth endoplasmic reticulum, helps in the detoxification of poisons and drugs, etc. Right? Next statement says that central vacuole occupies 10 to 20% of plant cell volume. False. Reason is, we know that in plant cells there is only one vacuole that is very large, and it may occupy even 90% of the plant cell volume. It's very big. And because of this central vacuole being so big, all the other cell organelles as well as nucleus, they are shifted to the side of the wall, towards the wall. So this is a false statement. Next is the nuclear region of a prokaryote is called a nucleoid. True. This is very important. Nucleoid is an undefined nuclear region which contains only nucleic acids. Clear? So these are the true or false statements. Total 15 we have seen. How many of you have got all the 15 correct answers? If anyone, very good, keep it up. I appreciate. One or two wrongs, no worries. Try to make a note of them. And if there is anyone who has got less than 10 correct, means there is still some lacking in his or her preparation. You are not properly and thoroughly prepared. So please go through the topics, the chapter, the question answers, the details once again. Got it? Now, After brushing up our concepts, now come to the actual MCQ questions that we encounter in our exam. Let us try to read them one by one. The first question says that the term cell was given by. Who gave the term cell? Was it Leeuwenhoek, Fleming, Robert Hooke, or Robert Brown? The term cell was given by Robert Hooke, who discovered cells. He discovered the Koch cells and he gave it the name cell because he observed the little compartment honeycomb structure with his primitive microscope. When he observed the bark of the tree, he just found the honeycomb structure. That is why he gave them the name cell, which in Latin means small compartments. Next question is, the longest cell in the human body is it nerve cell, liver cell, muscle cell, or kidney cell? So the answer is nerve cell. The nerve cells are the longest cells in our human body. Next question is, who proposed the cell theory? Cell theory was proposed by M. Schleiden and T. Schwann, both German biologists, who actually proposed the cell theory. And what was the cell theory? That all plants and animals are composed of cells. They are made up of cells. Right? Next question. The history of the cell began in 1665 with the publication of Micrographia. It's the name of the book in London by. Now, there are so many things we need to relate. First thing is publication of Micrographia. Who published Micrographia? Second thing to relate is the history of cells began. From where did the discovery of cell occur? That was through Robert Hooke. And importantly, the year 1665. So these are the two hints from which we can actually write our answer to be Robert Hooke. And along with this, now one thing that we need to remember is that it was Robert Hooke who began the history of the cell with the publication of Micrographia. 1665, Robert Hooke, cells discovered. This all of us know. But Micrographia was written by Robert Hooke in 1665 in London. That is something that most of you are actually not knowing. But now you know it and now you need to remember it. Okay. Next question is the idea Omen cellulae cellula, which means that all living cells arise from pre-existing cells, was given by. Who gave it? Robert Brown, Purkinje, Rudolf Virchow, or Schleiden? So our correct answer is Rudolf Virchow. Actually, this is the addition to the cell theory given by Schleiden and Schwann. They said that all plants and living organisms are composed of cells, and Rudolf Virchow, he expanded their cell theory by giving this concept that all the living cells arise from pre-existing cells. Robert Brown, we should note, that discovered the nucleus. J. E. Purkinje, he coined the term protoplasm. Schleiden, he gave the cell theory, not expanding. The cell theory was expanded by Virchow. Got it? Next question. Which of the following has an irregular or variable shape? Is it Euglena, Paramecium, Amoeba, or Acetabularia? Our correct answer is Amoeba. We have just discussed in the true false section that Amoeba has an ever changing shape. It's an irregular shape of Amoeba because of the pseudopodia, which is the cell membrane of amoeba and which keeps on changing its shape. Number one, to locomote, and number 2 to catch hold of its prey, to catch hold of its food. Got it? Next question. Genetic material of a eukaryotic cell is contained in. The genetic material is contained in the nucleus. Why? Because we are talking about eukaryotic cells. When we talk about the option nucleoid, it is present in prokaryotic cells. So we'll cross it up. Nucleoplasm is the fluid substance. Nucleolus consists of RNA and proteins, not DNA, not genes. So the genetic material in the form of chromosomes, chromatin network, DNA, it is present in nucleus. Clear? Eighth question is nucleolus is a site of protein synthesis or enzyme synthesis or ribosome synthesis or mRNA synthesis. Answer is ribosome synthesis. Nucleolus is a site of ribosome synthesis, and these ribosomes further will form proteins. Clear? Next question is plasma membrane is permeable, selectively permeable, semi-permeable or impermeable. So our answer is selectively permeable, because we have studied that plasma membrane allows the entry and exit of selected material in and out of the cell. Right? Next, a cell placed in solution swells up. Now the solution is hypertonic, isotonic, hypotonic or both A and B. We know that for the cell to swell up, it should be a dilute solution. Right? Externally, the solution should be diluted so that the water is at the higher concentration outside, and that is why it will move from higher concentration from outside to lower concentration, that is inside the cell, because of which the cell will swell, and such type of dilute solution is called a hypotonic solution. Fine. Now the next question is quite good. A cell placed in hypotonic solution bursts up. What type of cell it is? Is it an animal cell, fungal cell, bacterial cell or plant cell? So these are the animal cells which will burst when they are kept in extreme hypotonic solutions. Right? This is an experiment also that you must have done probably with the RBCs. That if you are keeping the RBCs, that is they are the present in your blood in the hypertonic and hypotonic, you can see them swelling, bursting, or if they are kept in hypertonic, they will shrink. Next is cytoplasm is. Now what is cytoplasm? Cytoplasm is the fluid medium of the cell. Let us see what options we are having. Cytoplasm is unit mass of protoplasm, or protoplasm excluding plasma membrane, or protoplasm excluding plasma membrane and nucleus, or protoplasm excluding plasma membrane and cell organelles. So guys, what is the correct answer? The correct answer is C. Because if we are talking about a cell, in that case, this is the nucleus. If I am talking about animal cell, if I am making the nucleus in the center, in itself means it's an animal cell. This is the plasma membrane. This is the nucleus. And apart from these two, whatever is left, that is cytoplasm, which contains all the cell organelles. So our correct answer is C. That cytoplasm is protoplasm excluding plasma membrane and nucleus. Okay. Next, rough ER. ER is, we know, endoplasmic reticulum. Rough ER contains detoxification centers, carbohydrate synthesizing machinery, ribosomes or lysosomes. So the correct answer is ribosomes. R-E-R. The name itself says rough, and the roughness is because of the presence of ribosomes on the surface of endoplasmic reticulum. That makes it rough, and hence they are known as RER. Clear? Let us come to the next question. Site of photosynthesis is, where exactly photosynthesis takes place? Is it in leucoplast or chromoplast or chloroplast or both A and C? Now what are these leucoplast, chromoplast and chloroplast? They are all plastids. Leucoplasts are the colorless plastids. Chromoplasts, they provide color to flowers for in attracting the insects. What is chloroplast? These are the plastids which contain chlorophyll, and it is this chlorophyll that helps in the process of photosynthesis, and thus our answer is B option, that is chloroplast. Because of the presence of chlorophyll in chloroplast, the photosynthesis takes there. Here, coming to the next question. Golgi apparatus is involved in synthesis of. Now these cell organelles, their functions, they are quite important. Function of Golgi apparatus is in the synthesis of new membranes and lysosomes, cellulose and glucose. Our correct option is B. Golgi apparatus not only helps in the synthesis of new membranes but also helps in the formation of lysosomes. Next question says that lysosomes are also called suicidal bags. Yes, they are called so. Why? Because they can just kill the worn out cell of which they themselves were a part. Digestive bags? Yes, because they contain strong digestive enzymes. So they are called both. Third is demolition squads. Yes, because they demolish all the foreign material entering the cell. Fourth option is all the above, and of course we need to mark this option only because lysosomes are named as all these. They are called the suicide bags, they are called the digestive bags, they are called the demolition squads, and the scavengers also, if there is any option in any other question if you find it. Next question is human cheek cells. Now when we are talking about human cheek cells, we are talking about animal cells. They are commonly stained with. Now what is the staining material used to stain the human cheek cells? This is methylene blue. We stain the animal cells with methylene blue in order to observe it under the microscope to see its parts. Okay. Next, name the stain which is commonly used to study plant cells. Now for plant cells, we use safranin. So you need to remember these two stains, that methylene blue is used to stain the animal cells and safranin is used to stain the plant cells. Okay. Question number 21. Temporary mount of a tissue is made in. When we are actually making a temporary mount of any tissue, it is made in glycerine. Okay. Next, safranin is a reagent that is used to stain what? Is it nucleus or cytoplasm or cell wall or plasmodesmata? The answer is cell wall. And that is why in question number 20 above, we have seen that the stain used to study plant cells is safranin and cell wall is present only in plant cells. Nucleus, cytoplasm, plasmodesmata, they are all present in both the type of cells. Clear? So safranin is used to stain the cell wall, and that is why it is used for staining plant cells. Next question. We generally mount the material in the slide. Where do you mount it? In the center, on the left side of slide, on the right side, or both B and C? I hope you all know the answer of this question because you have done this so many times. We know that we normally mounted the material in the slide in the center. Fine. Very simple question, I suppose. Next question is, cover slip is put on the mounted material on a slide very gently. Now, why do we put this cover slip so gently? Number one, because we want to avoid the crushing of mounting material. Number two, we want to avoid the entry of air bubbles. Number three, we want to avoid oozing of stain, or we want to avoid oozing of glycerine. So the cover slip is actually put on the slide very gently to avoid the entry of air bubbles. Because if there are air bubbles, then in that case the slide will be not that much clearly visible. Fine. Next question. Definite shape of cell is seen in case of. Is it plant cell? Second option is animal cell. Third option is both animal cell and plant cell. And D option is neither animal nor plant cell. Definite shape is seen in the case of animal cells. They have got a definite shape. Okay. 26th question. The outermost layer of human cheek cells is, once again, when we are talking about human cheek cells, we are talking about animal cells. And we know that the outermost layer of animal cells is not cytoplasm, of course, not cell wall because it is the outer covering of plant cells, plasma membrane, yes, and nuclear membrane, no, because we are talking about outermost layer. Fine. Next question, quite simple again. The outermost covering of a plant cell is, of course, it is cell wall. It's not plasma membrane because it is the outermost covering of animal cells. No vacuole membrane, no nuclear membrane. Got it? Let us come to the next question. Cell wall in plant cell is made up of, is it made up of starch or glycogen or cellulose or chitin? So we should know that the cell wall in plant cells is made up of a polysaccharide tough substance known as cellulose. Question number 29. Let's see. The structural or functional unit of life is tissue, organ system, cell. This is, I think, the simplest question that we can dream of in your NTSC exams or any competitive exams. The structural or functional unit of life is cells. Even a kid can say, right, who have just started studying 9th class, he can also tell the answer because this is the first chapter. Next question is, nucleus was discovered by. Now, who discovered nucleus? Robert Hooke or Robert Brown or Virchow or Schleiden? The answer is Robert Brown. Robert Brown was the person who discovered the nucleus. What did Robert Hooke do? We know that he discovered cells. Which type of cells? Cork cells. What are cork cells? Obtained from the bark of the tree. Dead cells. What was the contribution of Virchow? Virchow expanded the cell theory given by Schleiden and Schwann. Schleiden gave the cell theory, stating that all the plants and animals are composed of cells. But it was Virchow who expanded the cell theory by saying that all the cells come from pre-existing cells. Right? So we are revising our other concepts also. We know the answer right from very first beginning. That was nucleus was discovered by Robert Brown. Clear? Next question. In plant cells, nucleus is generally placed in the center or on one side of the nucleus or attached to plasma membrane or one corner of the cell. Now, in the center can't be. It is not attached to plasma membrane. These two are the possible answers on one side of the cell, on one corner of the cell. Now, when we talk about the difference between two options, let us try to relate what these two things are saying. For example, this is a plant cell, this is the cell wall, and internal is plasma membrane. We know that in plant cells, most of the area is covered up by huge vacuole, because of which the nucleus and the other organelles, they are at some corners towards the wall. But whether it is towards the corner of the wall, no. Let us see how. For example, once again, this is the cell wall. This is the plasma membrane that we have made. Now, if we have got a vacuole like this, now we can have the nucleus here itself also. It is in one side of the cell. It is not necessary that it will be at the corners. It can be on one side. So out of these two, B and D, more better option is on one side of the cell. So we should mark B to be our correct answer rather than writing on one corner of the cell. I hope you have just understood what I am trying to say. It's not necessarily the corner, it can be towards one side. Next question is, in human cheek cells, that means in animal cells, nucleus is generally located near the plasma membrane, on one side, in the center, or on border. In animal cells, nucleus is mostly and almost always placed in the center of the cell, because human cheek cells, we are talking about living cells, animal cells. Next question is, in plant cells, the cell wall is dynamic and live, rigid and non-living, dynamic and non-living, rigid and living. First of all, we need to know that in plant cells, the cell wall is dynamic. It's not rigid. And it is non-living because it is made up of cellulose. So the correct option to this question is C option, that the cell wall in plant cells is dynamic and non-living. Okay. Next question. In plant cells, cell to cell contact is maintained through. When we are talking about plant cells, what exactly is responsible for maintaining the cell to cell contact? Is it tight junctions, or interdigitation, or desmosomes, or plasmodesmata? The correct answer is desmosomes. I'm sure that most of you actually didn't know the answer. So this is one of those questions which you need to make a note of it, that in plant cells, the cell to cell contact is maintained through desmosomes. Right? You may note it down, because I don't think that it was there while we were studying. There are so many things which actually come in examination from the same chapter, but we have not discussed because there are so many things to discuss. So at times we leave it, so we should compensate by noting it down. Okay, coming to the next question now. Sorry. In plant cells, nucleus is generally, is it cylindrical or discoidal or rounded or elliptical? Mostly it is elliptical. Okay, in animal cells it is generally rounded, but in plant cells it is mostly elliptical. Next question is, plant cells generally have big but less number of vacuoles, small but large number of vacuoles, no vacuole at all equal sized vacuole. Equal sized can't be there, no vacuole, there are no cells which don't have vacuole. Now, The question is whether they have big but less number of vacuoles and small but large number. So this is one of the main differences between plant cell and animal cells, that the plant cells have big but less number of vacuoles, and they are so big that they cover up entirely almost 70, 80 to 90% of the area of plant cell, due to which all the organelles they shift to one side of the wall. Animals have small but large number of vacuoles. Plant cells have very less, maybe at times only one also, and it's very big. Okay, coming to the next question. The cells were first focused in microscope under, is it 40 times, 100 times, 10 times, any of these? So you need to relate, you must have done it in the lab, that first of all the cells are focused in 10 times. Here you will be able to see the cells, you will be able to see the cell wall or plasma membrane. If in case it is an animal cell, you will be able to see only plasma membrane. In case of plant cell, you will see both. You will also find the nucleus and cytoplasm. But then after zooming and putting it in higher power, then you will be able to know and see the other cell organelles present in the cell, whether it is a plant cell or an animal cell. Okay. So the correct option is 10 times, because we are talking about the cells are first focused in. So firstly we will focus in 10 times. Now the next question says the organelle not present in human cheek cells is. Human cheek cells means animal cells. So the organelles which are not present in human cheek cells is it nucleus? No, because nucleus is present in animal cell. Plasma membrane? No, because plasma membrane is there. Mitochondria is also there. So this is also wrong option. We are left with chloroplast. Now chloroplasts are the cell organelles. Plastids, they are present only in plant cells, not in human cheek cells or animal cells. Okay. The next question says is the cell wall of plants is made up of cellulose. We know this. Now this cellulose, which is a lipid, protein, polysaccharide or amino acids. I think in the same class itself we have minimum repeated 2 times minimum that cellulose is a tough substance made up of polysaccharides, and this cellulose forms the cell wall, that is the outermost covering of plant cells. Got it? Fine. So these are a few questions that we have yet discussed. Out of these now, a few of them were really very simple. I think all of you must be knowing the answers. A few were average kind questions and 2-3 questions were good. Now try to assess yourself, try to check out how many were your correct answers. Important is not how many were correct. Reason is you need to focus on which answers you gave but they were incorrect, and now you need to find out the reason why I thought this to be the answer whereas it actually wasn't, and it was some other part which was the correct answer. So you need to relate it. Clear? There are lot many other questions apart from these that I will be discussing in the next lecture. Till now, just I'll be taking up here only. We'll end up and wind up our session here. Please go through all the questions and their answers, and if you are lacking somewhere, once again please revise the chapter, and in the next lecture I'll be containing some more questions, good questions. They are also good questions, examination questions from the same chapter, fundamentals, and this time I think you should be better prepared for attempting those questions. Got it? So we'll meet you soon in my next lecture with fundamental units of life. Till then, study hard, take care of yourself, stay healthy, stay happy.